You often hear words like website traffic, more visitors, more conversions, more clicks, more impressions. But what does it all mean in terms of actually generating your local flooring company more inquiry? How many monthly clicks or visitors do you actually need to generate more inquiries for your local flooring company? In this video, I'm here to show you how you can make more money from being at the top of Google search results, and I'm here to translate the jargon that you normally hear. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to see how profitable this is for your business and whether it's something that you think you need to invest in for your flooring company. And make sure that you stick around till the end, because I'll show you a tool that's going to help you really dominate the search results and make your life a lot easier. So let's jump into the video where we're going to look at how many visitors does a flooring company website need to generate more inquiries. So the first thing that we're going to look at is how much website traffic do you need to generate more inquiries. So the first thing you're going to want to think about is the types of website traffic you're going to be getting to your site. So what you need to understand is the different types of keywords that are out there that you can target that will generate different types of traffic with what we call different search intents. So the two main keywords, the two main search intents that you're going to need to focus on is you're going to need transactional keywords and you're going to need informational keywords. So transactional keywords is someone that is looking to spend there and then or at some point in the very near future, whereas an informational keyword is more about someone that is just seeking information at the very early stages of the buying cycle. Now, the reason that you need to understand this is because you might see that websites have a lot of traffic, but if all of that traffic is coming from blog content and informational content, it's not necessarily going to be that valuable at that stage anyway. Whereas if you've got another company that is focusing more on the transactional keywords and they have less traffic but more of the keywords that they're ranking for are transactional keywords, those keywords and that traffic is going to be a lot more valuable than the company that has got more traffic from blog content. However, it's not just as simple as just targeting the transactional keywords, because you need the informational keywords to help you rank for the transactional keywords. The informational keywords often support the pages that you build that are transactional. The next thing to understand is where does the traffic actually come from. Now, this video is mainly focused on SEO, so search engine optimization, and getting traffic directly from Google search results. But there are other ways that you can get traffic, and this traffic that lands on your site from these different areas is going to have slightly different conversion rates and things like that. So Google Ads, you're going to be paying Google money to be at the top of the search results for that, and Google Ads don't generally get as high a click-through rate as what the organic listings do or the map pack does. You've got social media, and a lot of social media traffic is going to be referral traffic, or it's going to be traffic where people recognize your brand and then they search you later on. And then you've got social media ads, so you're going to be running an ad for perhaps an article that you've written or perhaps an offer that you've got running. So depending on the purpose of that ad is going to get different types of traffic to your website. And you also get referral traffic from all sorts of other websites, not just social media, but if you've created a blog post, for example, or a guest post on someone else's website and the people are clicking the links from that article over to your website, that's going to be referral traffic from another related site to yours. So that also highlights the importance of actually gaining backlinks, which we're going to discuss a little bit later on in this video. And then lastly, you've got offline. Whatever activities you do offline, whether that be networking, whether it be posting flyers through people's doors, really you want to get them to your website. You want to direct them to your website because that's where most of your information is going to be. That's where the best information is going to be, and that is where you're going to get them to take the action that you want them to take. So once we understand the first section, the next thing that we're going to want to do is find the right keywords. So you're going to want to ask yourself a couple of questions. What services do you offer and what locations do you serve? Now, you might be a flooring company that offers multiple services, so you could offer LVT, wood flooring, carpet, laminate, whatever else it is that you offer. Now, you can target all of these keywords, but really you do want to focus on one at a time. You want to master one, you want to be the absolute expert in one particular product or service to begin with, and then start branching out to the other services. By doing that, you're going to get the most amount of traction in the quickest amount of time. After you've established that, the next thing you want to do is understand what locations you serve. So you want to note down all of the counties that you serve, towns that you serve, and the major areas that you serve that you think is going to have some search volume. You can then put these two answers to these questions together to then start searching and brainstorming keywords that would work for your business. A few other things that you're going to want to take into account is the keyword difficulty, the cost per click, and the importance of long tail keywords. So keyword difficulty, if you use these tools like SEMrush or Ahrefs, they will give you a score and a rating of how difficult that keyword is to rank for, but these scores are not reliable. You should not solely rely on these scores. You should do your own research. You should type in the actual keyword onto a Google search. You should look at the competitors you're competing against, and then you should start doing background research on their website. Try and work out how much authority do they actually have. How good is their website? How good is their SEO campaign? How good is their overall marketing strategy? You're going to then need to assess how much it would take to actually get to the point where you can match them and beat them. Now, I'm not saying don't target difficult keywords, but you've got to understand that some keywords are going to take a lot longer to rank for than other keywords that perhaps your top competitors are not necessarily targeting. The next indicator is cost per click. So look at the cost per click, because generally people are going to target the most profitable keywords. Now, Google Ads, a Google Keyword Planner, does give you a cost per click, and that's going to be the most reliable place to get that information from. And then lastly, the importance of long tail keywords. So a long tail keyword is generally a more obscure and less competitive keyword. If you had a short tail keyword, it might be something like flooring Kent. If you had a long tail keyword, it might be flooring suppliers and fitters based in Kent. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to target the keywords that maybe your big competitors are not quite targeting enough, because they're going after all the short tail keywords and the more competitive keywords. So the next thing that we're going to want to look at is conversion rates. So we want to ask ourselves, what does X amount of monthly traffic actually mean for our flooring company? Let's take a look at a study online so we can understand this a little bit better. So to start working out conversion rates, you're first going to want to understand the click-through rate. And as you can see, this study here by firstpagesage.com, you can see the differences between the different positions on Google search results. You can see right at the top here, the ads are only getting a click-through rate of 2.1%, whereas first position is getting 39%, second position is getting 18%, and third position is getting 10%. So you can see as it starts going down the page, it's going to get less and less, and being number one on Google search results is obviously going to be the place where you're going to get the highest click-through rate. As we come down a little bit more, you can see they do a little bit more analysis, and then they've created a table to show us the average click-through rate for the different positions on a typical Google search. So you can see here, ad position 1 gets 2.1% and search position 1 gets 39.8%. So you can see being at the bottom of page 1 does get a small click-through rate, but really it is always the top 3 spots that you want to be aiming for, as that is where the majority of the traffic goes to. And then there's other things to take into account on Google search results. So things like featured snippets, you know, when there's a little bit of information at the top of the page. First position for a featured snippet can get a 42% click-through rate, and second can get a 27.4% click-through rate. And then, as we looked at earlier, organic search is 39%, ad result 2.1% maximum, image result, so sometimes you get images displayed at the very top of the search results, and this will be 1.4 to 4.9%, videos, so 2.3 to 6.4%. People also ask. Now this is the little drop down bit where you've got all of the questions that are relating to the keyword that you've searched, and that gets a 3% click-through rate. And then you've got the knowledge panel, which is on the side there, and you get a 1.4% click-through rate for that as well. So it's worth taking into account these different areas on Google and the variations that are going to cause different click-through rates. And then more importantly, which is going to be more relative to you, is going to be the local search results. So the map pack really is going to be the most important part for a local flooring company. And as you can see, they've done this based on plumbing companies in the US, but you can see the click-through rate of the top position on the map pack is 17.8%. The local position 2 is 15.4%, and 3 is 15.1%. So those 3 positions at the top of the Google Map Pack, they all have similar sort of click-through rates. So really you just need to be in the top 3 spots of the Google Map Pack. Now there's going to be a lot of other factors that do actually come into play, and that's going to be things like the amount of reviews you've got, quality of the reviews, the information that you've got filled out here, and you can also rank on the Map Pack and you can rank on the organic listings at exactly the same time. So you could really double the chances and really increase the click-through rate of your website if you're ranking at the top here of the map pack and you're in the top 3 positions of the organic listing. So what you would be able to do with that information is you would be able to calculate the amount of traffic you would get per keyword or between all of the keywords, and then you'd be able to work out what the average click-through rate is for the different positions that you would be on in Google search results. And of course, when people then land on your page, it is down to the actual page itself to convert them into actual clients. And then you would be able to track the actions that people are taking on your website and you would be able to track the actual conversion rates that you're getting from this percentage of people that are landing on your site. So something else worth looking at is your competitors, just doing a little bit of research on them, seeing how much traffic they're getting, see what keywords they're ranking for and they're not ranking for, and then you can gauge a rough idea of how many keywords you should be ranking for and roughly what kind of traffic you should be getting from those keywords if you was to outrank them. Now, something else worth mentioning is that often people will search for a particular product or service from a particular location, and they don't necessarily take action there and then, but they do take action at a later date. So it's not really that easy to track conversion rates with SEO, because you don't really know when the first interaction was with your actual website and your brand and how they actually found you in the first place. Because if someone has seen you months before and they're still in the process of deciding what they want to actually buy from you, and then they do a direct search for your website later on, a few months down the line, then you're not going to know whether that come from someone that was looking at your website 3 months before because they searched on Google, or whether they found you on Facebook or something like that. You're not going to know where that sale actually come from. Now, if you are making sales, one way to find this information out is to just do a quick survey at the end of the sale, just to ask how they found you. So once you've done this initial research, the next thing you should do is try and make a goal, make it a realistic goal based on the amount of traffic you think that you can get from targeting the right keywords. And then this is going to be something that you can measure against as you're improving your SEO and as you're getting more and more traffic. And if you're not getting the conversion rates that you think you should be, then you can make improvements to get to that point. And here's a few factors that are going to affect the conversion rates. That is website load time, it's mobile optimization, and security. These are three really simple things. So if someone does click on your website and it takes too long to load, or they're going through the pages and it's sort of stuttering and it's just taking a little bit of time and it's creating a bad user experience, then they're very likely to click back off your website and go to a website further down that's actually working better. Mobile optimization, the amount of people that are searching for your products and services on the go now is obviously on the increase, with smartphones getting better and better. So a lot of the time people might be out and about shopping looking for flooring, and they might just search it on their phone. So if your website's not actually working properly for mobile, then that's going to cause issues. It's going to cause lower conversion rates, it's going to cause a lower click-through rate. Google is going to see that your website is getting a lower click-through rate and a higher bounce rate, and that's going to have a negative effect on where you're actually ranking in Google search results. And then lastly, security. This is so easy to do these days, and that's just making your site secure, making it HTTPS. And then lastly, retargeting is also very important for increasing conversion rates. A lot of the time people land on your site, but they're not necessarily ready to buy there and then. In this situation, you want to do everything you can to try and get them onto your email list, so that you can keep sending them newsletters every week or 2 weeks, and make sure that you're always in front of them. It could take them months before they actually make a decision on whether they want to buy the flooring or not. And in that time, you need to be constantly in front of them. So now that we've discussed conversion rates and why it's important, the next thing that we're going to want to look at is how to improve organic website traffic. So the main way that you're going to increase your organic traffic is by search engine optimization. So you're going to be able to increase 2 positions on Google. That is going to be firstly the organic listings, and secondly the map pack. So the organic listings are the original Google listings. So they're the ones that are below the ads, and they're also below the map pack. The next thing that you're going to want to improve is Google Maps. So you're going to want to make sure that you're in the top 3 of the map pack before you even click on the maps. You're going to want to make sure that you're visible there. And to do this, you're going to want to improve your website on page, and you're going to also want to improve your website off page. So building high quality backlinks to your website on a regular basis to build that authority, to get the authority to pass from one website to the next. So from a really high authority website that is related to yours over to your website. So let's take a look at some of the ways that you can actually improve the conversions on your website. These are some really easy things that you can do on your website straight away that is going to improve the amount of people that are actually taking an action and actually inquiring with your business. So the first thing to think about is less options. So have one call to action. Don't have multiple call to actions all on the same page, because if you've got a call to action saying ring us, get in contact with us through the contact form, come down to our store, it's going to confuse them a little bit. They just want that one simple action, the thing that you think is most important for them to take. So that could be filling out a contact form, and that's not going to put someone off if they don't want to fill out a contact form. They actually want to speak to someone, because it's not going to be very hard for them just to click over to the actual contact page and find your phone number. But when they're on that landing page, just keep it as simple as possible to try and get them to take that action. Another thing to do is make sure that all of your products and services are all set out on separate pages, so you can create unique content for each of those products and services. and also create unique content for every single location that you're targeting as well. The next thing that you're going to want to look at is just on-page elements. So some general good practices would be good quality original images and videos. So if you've got any actual images and videos that you've taken yourself, these are going to be very valuable. These are going to be a lot better than stock images, and they're going to convert better. So, you know, having things like pictures of your team, your vans, you actually doing the job, your finished projects, it's going to be way better than just getting something off Shutterstock or something like that. The next thing you're going to want to focus on is good page structure. So H1, your heading 1, make sure that you've got the keyword that you're trying to target. Make sure that when someone does search for, let's say, flooring company in London, they land on the flooring company in London page, and it's very obvious because that is in the heading 1. The next thing, the heading 2, this is going to be the next keyword that is related to your heading 1. Heading 3, again, it's going to be related to your heading 2 and your heading 1. So you basically creating a hierarchy of information as people scan down this page. Make sure your buttons are descriptive and they're big and bold. So don't just put click here. Describe what you actually want them to do. Try and obviously describe that in as little words as possible, but when someone clicks on a button, they want to know where it goes. So that's what you want to do. That's the aim of this, is to get them to see what happens if they was to click that button, to make it easy for them. And then promote the benefits of the product and services that you're offering. Keep these descriptions very short and to the point, bullet point things, make big titles and headings. People don't want to read much, they just want to scan through it. The next thing is benefits of using you, so your USP. It could be that you're very tidy, it could be that you're always on time, there could be multiple things that set you apart from other competitors. It could be things that you know that your customers have moaned about to you in the past about other people they've used, and these could become your USPs if you can actually do this kind of stuff. And then next is a map to show where you're actually located or the area that you're serving. If you go onto a website and you can see that the area that you're targeting might be Manchester, and you've got a map on that page that's circling off Manchester or an area within Manchester, it's a lot more easy for you to see that this is the place that you're actually serving. This is a visual representation of the areas that you're covering. And then variations on the products. Now there's a lot of different types of carpet, there's a lot of different styles of wood flooring, so people might not necessarily know what kind of styles of wood flooring that they want or types of carpet that they want, so make sure you put those onto the page. Carrying on from that, another thing that you're going to want to add to the page is FAQs. Make sure these FAQs are very specific to the product and service that is on that particular page. Don't start writing FAQs about general flooring if your page is about LVT flooring. Related blog articles, so if you're focusing, let's say, on LVT flooring, make sure that you're writing blog articles just on LVT flooring, and then making sure those blog articles are also on your landing pages as well. You know, there's like a snippet of information for those blog articles on the landing pages. Create related case studies. So again, let's say you're targeting LVT flooring and you've got LVT flooring case studies. Make sure that those case studies, the LVT flooring case studies, are on the LVT flooring landing pages. So you would create snippets of information. You wouldn't actually present the whole case study, you would just give them links to the case study pages. Reviews is also another powerful element to add to your page, so make sure that you've got a live feed from your Google business page or from another review site onto your actual landing page, so people can see these are new reviews that are constantly being updated. And again, if you can make these reviews specific to the product and services that you're offering on those landing pages, that's going to make it even more relevant to that page. And then you've got brands that you work with. So flooring companies are going to offer the different types of brands for the different types of flooring. So for example, if you're selling a lot of Antico flooring or Quick Step flooring, make sure you've got those logos on your site. It's only going to benefit you if people can see and recognise well-known brands. Accreditations, are there any kind of accreditations for your industry that you've got that you need to display on this page? Other websites that you're on, i.e. Checker Trade, Which, Trust a Trader, any of those, if you're on them, then make sure you link to them and display their logos on your website as well. And then lastly, any other social proof that you've got. So your social media profiles, make sure you're all linked up to those. Add live feeds to your landing pages, and any other profiles or websites that you're on that you think is going to increase the trustworthiness of your business. And then you also want to focus on having a user-friendly website, so make sure it's easy to navigate and visually appealing. So easy to navigate, make sure that you're structured correctly, it's easy to find the different pages that you want to find, and visually appealing. Like, there's so many websites out there and they just look awful. So a good visually pleasing design is going to help with conversion rates because it's a reflection on your business. The next thing we need to focus on after this is tracking. So if you're not tracking anything, you can't know whether anything's actually working or not. So here are some of the main things that we're going to track on an SEO campaign and when we're trying to increase conversion. So Google Search Console is the first place that you would start. It's really easy to set up, and Google Search Console is going to allow you to track basically impressions and clicks and click-through rate, and it'll also show you the keywords that you've been picked up for and the positions that you're in, the average positions that you're in for those keywords. So you can use this data to really improve your website and your SEO strategy. You can see what keywords are lagging, what pages are lagging. You can really dig deep into Google Search Console and you can get some really valuable data out of it. The next thing that you're going to want to look at is Google Analytics. So this is more looking at your website from an outside perspective, whereas Google Search Console is an inside perspective. With Google Analytics, it's going to tell you where your traffic is coming from. So you've got X amount of traffic that's coming from social media, you've got X amount of traffic that's coming from organic search, you've got so much traffic that's coming from paid search. So you're going to get a really good overview as to where the traffic is coming from. And also Google Analytics can give you data on how people are actually using your website. You know, the different pages they're landing on, the places they're going after they land on your website, and the pages that they're exiting on. So you can use this data to improve the conversions on your website and make it the best performing website possible. Next is keyword tracking. So at the start of the campaign, once you decide on the keywords that you're going to be targeting, make sure you put those keywords into tracking software. So there's so many different types of tracking software out there. SEMrush is one that I use. One thing I would say with keyword tracking is take it with a pinch of salt. So sometimes when the report comes through, the keywords are a little bit out because the Google search results are always shifting up and down ever so slightly. But I've noticed that the keywords that I track are often a little bit behind where they actually are. You often find that they're a few places higher than what they're actually showing on the keyword report. Something else to look at would be bounce rate. So this can be found in your Google Analytics account. So you'll be able to see how many people are landing on your site and how many people are bouncing straight back off your site. Now, one thing to note about bounce rate is not necessarily a bad thing. High bounce rate doesn't necessarily mean you've got a bad page, because really the end goal for you is to get them to take the action that they need to take. So if they was to land on your landing page and then they filled out a contact form straight away, or they rang you up straight away and then clicked off your website, that is going to result in a higher bounce rate. But that's not a bad bounce rate because they're actually doing the action that you want them to take. So Google will actually know the different behaviors and things like that that people should be taking when they land on your page. So again, bounce rate, take it with a pinch of salt. You've got to really understand why people are bouncing off your site. It could be a bad thing or it could be a good thing. So click-through rate is the next thing to look at, and this can be found in Google Search Console. So this is going to give you an idea of what keywords people are clicking on and the overall click-through rate of your website. So again, you want to monitor this, you want to understand what kind of percentage you want to get your website up to. So conversion rates, this is something that you're going to want to start tracking once you're starting to get more and more visitors to your website. You're going to want to understand their behaviors, you're going to want to understand how you can improve the page to get the best rate for your website based on the traffic you're getting. User behavior would be one of the things to look at. So again, you can look at this in Google Analytics, and you can use other tools like heat maps, and you can do A/B testing. So you can have, for example, two slightly different pages and you can test what gets better conversion rates. You can have different elements on different pages and you can test what getting better conversion rates and really optimize your site as best as possible. So you're getting the maximum amount of people that are actually clicking through to your website, and you're getting the maximum amount of people that are actually taking action when they land on your site. So we're nearly at the end of the video, and let's just take a look at the key takeaways of this video. So the first thing you need to do is you need to find the right keywords. You need to understand the different strategies to target them. You need to utilize other ways to generate traffic. You need to have a goal in terms of monthly traffic, inquiries, sales. You need to start SEO as soon as possible because it is a very long-term strategy. It could take 6 months, 12 months, and really you should never stop SEO. It's one of those things that just continues over and over, and all the time that you want to continue to generate leads for your business, you should be always investing in it. SEO isn't necessarily just about increasing the amount of inquiries and sales for your website. It's about keeping that really high quality experience for people that are landing on your website and interacting with your business on a day-to-day basis. The other thing you've got to do really before you start any SEO is make sure that your website is up to scratch. So if it's a poor design, if it's gives a poor user experience, then you need to sort that out before you start any SEO, because if people land on your site and they're reaching this very poor website, then they're going to be clicking straight back off your website. It's going to have a low click-through rate, it's going to have a high bounce rate for a bad reason, and it's not going to have a very good conversion rate. So there's no point in spending lots of money on SEO when your website's not where it needs to be to begin with. Next thing is to set up tracking from the word go. So literally at the very start of this campaign, as soon as you know what keywords you're targeting, put them into keyword tracking software. Make sure that all of your Google Analytics is connected up to your website, your Google Search Console is connected up to your website, and start collecting data with whatever other tools that you want to use as soon as possible. The more data you have, the more you can analyze this data and improve your website and get the best out of it. And then regularly updating and improving your website and design. So this goes a little bit hand in hand with getting your website up to scratch. Once it is up to scratch, websites do deteriorate over time. Websites do get left behind in their design and things like that, and the features they have. So you've got to make sure that you're keeping your website up to date, and periodically you are going to have to actually rebuild the whole site so that it gives it a fresh new design and it's up to date with all the latest kind of features that you can get. And then stay up to date with changes in the search engine algorithms and industry trends. So make sure that you understand that Google is constantly updating. It does its core updates, which are its major updates, a few times a year, but it also does very small updates almost constantly, really. So the landscape, the SEO landscape, is always changing. The things that you need to understand are always changing. So you need to keep on top of this to stop your website from falling behind. And of course, obviously, industry trends. You being in the industry, you need to keep up with this sort of stuff. There's going to be certain things, for example, from a conversion point of view, that you need to focus on for the flooring industry that aren't going to apply to other industries. So you need to keep on top of this. And then lastly, I'm not just saying this because I want you to hire me, but because the benefits of hiring a professional agency are that we do actually live and breathe this kind of stuff. Everything that I've mentioned in this video and previous videos, this is the stuff that I'm thinking about every single day and the stuff that I'm keeping on top of. So if you was to hire someone, then you don't really need to think about any of this. You just need to have trust in the person that you're hiring to do the right job for you. And really, you need to understand, how much is your time actually worth? Is your time better off spent actually managing your company and steering it in the right direction, or is it better off spent trying to learn marketing, trying to keep up with the SEO, and just trying to do things that you're not really that passionate about? So most business owners are going to be the former. So that's pretty much it for the video. Now, one other video that I think is going to be worth you checking out is how your local flooring company can dominate Google, and I'll put a link in the description to that video. And if you want to get a head start in this process, then I've created a free download called the Complete Flooring Keyword List, and you can get access to this by heading to edge2edgeseo.com/keyword list. Now, I've linked to that in the description at the bottom of the video as well. And what I've done is I've actually done a lot of the keyword research here for you. I've thought about every single product and service that a flooring company would offer. I've thought about the different locations that you can offer those in. It's a really simple guide and list that's going to help you get a massive head start in this process, and it's going to save you all the aggro of actually going onto these keyword tools and doing this research, which can be a very slow, repetitive and painful process sometimes. So it's worth definitely downloading that list. So that's it for the video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, like the video, and then also follow me on all of the other socials, so Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Do you need help with marketing your local flooring company? Schedule a strategy call with me and I can dig deep into your competitors, your current marketing strategy, what's working, what's not working, and I can come up with a strategy for you that's going to help you generate more inquiries and leads online. To do that, just visit my website edge2edgeseo.com/schedule. So thanks again for watching the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.